Hey guys, Lou here. Hey, a little video I've been wanting to do about the charging system. So this is in my 45 GPW. It's all 6 volt, and about ready to fire up and head home. And wanted to show a little something and explain a little bit here. So, parking brake's not quite holding on the slope. There we go. Turn the ignition on, and you can see you got a slight discharge as it's working the coil. Pump of gas here. Okay, see how the needle jumps way up? Then as I stay on the throttle, it goes down. Now if I let it idle, see it jumps back down almost to zero? That's because the generator is not putting out at 600 RPM. But if I throttle back up, see, it jumps up, it's charging, and it will slowly work its way back down to zero as it recharges the battery the little bit that it lost. So what you need to know is that between 600 and 800 RPM, your Jeep is basically running off the battery. If when you go to start it, it's going to draw a bunch of juice out of the battery, and that was that big dip to the right as the generator was recharging. So a lot of guys like to go out and especially in the winter time, they haven't driven their Jeep for a while, so they go out, they crank it over, it's slow, hard starting, they have to crank several times and choke and pump the gas. Gas is evaporated from the carburetor bowl, so it takes a while to get it back up into the bowl and squirting down into the throat there. So they really work the battery hard. Then they get it fired up, they rev it up for a second until it's warm enough to idle on its own, and then they just let it sit there and idle, and maybe they let it idle for 5-10 minutes, and they think, okay, good, I've started my Jeep, it still runs, all that kind of stuff. Then they go shut it off. Well, they just shut it off with a low charge on the battery. So then the next time they come out, there's not much in the battery, and when they crank, it cranks slow. Then they start dreaming about the horrific change to 12 volt. So, but what they've done wrong was when they got it fired up, they need to set the throttle at just above 800 RPM, and you can tell because the charge needle will jump way to the right and show that it's charging. And keep it at that RPM until the needle draws back down and is close to zero. Then you can shut it off. Now the battery's fully charged. And so that, and one other good battery habit is, you're driving your Jeep, your headlights are on, you come to park it, always shut your lights and any accessories off first, then kill the motor. Thus, you're not putting a final little small draw on the battery. And it might only be just an incremental little bit, but that little bit allows that part of the lead in the battery to develop sulfates. And sulfates are what eventually kills the battery. So it's just good habit always to shut the lights off first, shut off the radio, any other draws you got, and then kill the battery or kill the ignition. And that way your battery is resting at a complete full charge. So just my little tip of the day. So I've been doing a bunch of cutting, welding, fabbing in the shop today, and I'm headed home, and we are going to enjoy the rest of the afternoon. So take care.